So it was f of x equals, it was 3x over x minus 4, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So we are asked to find the difference quotient, which is f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. That was the question. So I will write 3 x plus h over x plus h minus 4 minus x divided by x minus 4 divided by h. The least common denominator is the product of the two, x minus 4, x plus h minus 4. The top of this needs to be multiplied by x minus 4, and the top of this needs to be multiplied by x plus h minus 4. So then the numerator becomes x squared plus xh minus 4x minus 4h, and then minus x squared minus xh and plus 4x. As we know, the terms, is this okay so far? So the terms without h must go away. Maybe even more terms, but at least those. So here they are. Oh, luckily, these two go away as well. So we have the numerator, which is 3 times negative 4, negative 12h divided by x minus 4, x plus h minus 4, multiplied by 1 over h. And this is what I expected this as the second step to happen. So therefore, the final answer is negative 12 over x minus 4, x plus h minus 4.
It wouldn't have been right because it's addition. I accidentally did x minus 4 squared and pulled the h out in the bottom.
H is not a common factor at the,
Right.
in here, so you cannot factor out h. And this is the final form. Good. What is the next problem that we want to work on?
From the final package, can we do number 12?
We stopped at number 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we did everything. We did 11. Yes, I remember. I just saw it. Okay. So we are looking at number 12. We are given d of x, which is x minus 4 squared. We are given s of x, that's so demand and supply, x squared plus 2x plus 6. And they're asking us to find first the equilibrium point. What do I have to do in order to find the equilibrium point? Very good. So x minus 4 squared must equal x squared plus 2x plus 6. Good. So have we found the break-even point?
I got 1, 9.
Brian?
Yes, the coordinate point 1, 9, but I'm not sure if I did it.
Okay. So the left-hand side has how many terms?
3.
Very good. X squared minus 2 times the first times the second, plus the second term squared, x squared plus 2x plus 6. Quadratic, I expect two solutions. However, well, these two go away, so it's no longer quadratic. I move 2x to get negative 10x, and I move negative 16 to get negative 10. Indeed, x equals 1. So then the break-even point has 1 comma. How do I determine the y coordinate? Yes, let's do it here. It's the easiest. 1 minus 4 is?
-3.
And negative 3 squared is?
9.
Indeed. So that's the break-even point. Any questions on the break-even point? Part B, the consumer surplus at the equilibrium point. Consumer surplus.
Do you plug in 1? the surplus?
So there is a formula for this, right?
Yeah.
So it's the integral from 0 to 1 from d of x dx minus this product, because that's the rectangle, the area of the rectangle. The producer surplus is the opposite. It's 9 minus the integral from 0 to 1 from the surplus, from x squared plus 2x plus 6 dx. We need to remember these. And now let's take a minute and calculate these, see what we get. Would you like to do that, or you want me to continue?
You can calculate them.
Hmm?
You can see how they work. Sure.
Okay, so you want me to wait for you so you can work on those
Oh,
or not?
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
For a second.
Okay, so I'll wait for a couple of minutes. And let me know if you need help with anything.
So why did we pick the interval 0 to 1?
It's from the from 0 to where the break-even point is for the x-axis.
Okay.
It's the area under the graph between 0 and where the x of the break-even point is from top minus bottom.
Okay.
Yes. So the integral from 0 to 1 from x minus 4 squared dx minus 9. 9 is the area of the rectangle, length times width. So what I would do, I would expand this as x squared minus 8x plus 16. And now I would write what function prime is x squared? So what function prime is x squared?
Oh, it's 2 over 3.
Very good. Minus 8x squared over 2 plus 16x. I'm sorry, don't forget minus 9 here. From 0 to 1, minus 9. Luckily, I only need to plug in 1. So 1/3 minus 4 plus 16 minus 9. So that is 1/3 plus 3. 10/3. So we're getting some services for $10 divided by 3 that we don't pay for. That's our little surplus. Now, the producer surplus would be 9 minus the integral from 0 to 1 from x squared plus 2x plus 6 dx. Now we will see what we pay, but we're not really getting. That goes into their pocket. So there's 9 minus x squared over 3. Let's put everything in parentheses. 2x squared over 2 plus 6x from 0 to 1. So this is 9 minus 1/3, minus 1, and minus 6. So 9 minus 7 is 2, 2 minus 1/3, 5/3. So this is what they get extra from us, but they're not really offering us anything for that. Any questions? Any questions on 12?
So I'm just gonna have to look over a bit more on the. I always forget it's the antiderivative.
Yes.
So I'll just put myself in the wrong direction.
Right.
And,
So when you are determining an integral, you are really determining what function you differentiate to get that.
yes.
Okay.
And that's where I
Yes.
know that's what it is. I just always confuse myself on it. But I'll just have to touch on those more.
Yes. Okay, number 13. Any questions? Okay, so let's look at 13. In 13, we have a differential equation. So we are given y prime equals 3x plus xy, and we are told that y equals 5 when x equals 0. So is there another way of writing y prime? Very good. And I will factor out x, and I get 3 plus y. What now? It's a differential equation. I want to solve for y. So what should I do? Separate the variables. Very good. So how do I do that?
When you subtract 3 and you divide by x, right?
So I want x with this, and I want this with this. So dy over y plus 3 equals x dx. So we cross multiply and then divide by y plus 3, if that's better. So first cross multiply or multiply both sides by dx, and then you divide both sides by y plus 3. So let me do that from the beginning. So this is what we have. Multiply both sides by dx. So you get dy equals x y plus 3 dx. You will keep x and dx on this side, but you have to get rid of this, and the only way we can get rid of it is by dividing. So you get dy over y plus 3 equals x dx. And we managed to separate the variables, which means that we will integrate now x dx and 1 over, or dy over y plus 3. And we will be using only one constant. Let's start with the right-hand side because that's easy.
X squared 2.
Over 2 plus a constant c. Perfect. What about the right-hand side? Which function prime is y plus 3? Well, it must be natural log of the absolute value of y plus 3. When I differentiate this, I get 1 over y plus 3. Better? Now I have to put in this condition when x is 0, y is 5. Why am I given this? To find a constant, right?
This is the natural log of 5 plus 3.
So 5 plus 3 will be 8. So this is natural log of 8. It doesn't need parentheses. Equals c. Because when x is 0, y is 5. So then we have natural log, the absolute value of y plus 3 equals x squared over 2 plus natural log 8. But we haven't solved for y yet. What will be the next step? E, which is the base, but we don't write it, raised to this power equals this. So y plus 3 equals e raised to x squared over 2 plus natural log 8. Remember doing this? Vaguely? Okay, so we have to practice this. So then y plus 3 equals plus or minus e to x squared over 2 times e to natural log 8. What does that mean? What is this equal to? Let me refresh your memory. A raised to log base a of x, as long as these two are the same, and they are. This is base e and this is base e, is x. So then all this will be
8.
exactly. So then we have y equals negative 3 plus or minus 8 e to x squared over 2. For some reason I wanted to write minus. I don't know why. Okay, but now we have to make sure that when x is 0, y is 5. And we will choose that function that fulfills the given condition. So when x is 0, y must be 5. Not both will give us that option. So then which one will give us that option? When x is 0, this is 1, and I want the answer to be 5.
Negative plus.
Only the positive.
Yeah.
So then I will say only y equals negative 3 plus 8 e to x squared over 2 is the function we are looking for. Moving on to 14. Any questions? Just make a little star and say, I want to see more problems of this and more problems of that, okay? Okay, so we are given a function of two variables, which is 4y plus 6x minus x squared minus y squared. And we're asked to find relative max-min. So this is basically the D test. Yes. So first I have to find f of x. That's my first step. Not f of x, fx, and fy. Then I will set them equal to each other in step 2 and find the point. So can anyone give us fx?
fx is 6 minus 2x.
Awesome. What is fy?
Fy is 4 minus 2y.
Excellent. In step 2, I have to set them equal to 0. Yes, perfect. So I have 6 minus 2x equals 0 and 4 minus 2y equals 0. Well done. So this is a system, and I get that x equals and I get that y equals.
X equals 3.
Very good.
Y equals 2.
Very good. So then the point is 3 comma 2. In step 3, remember the D test. It's fxx at 3 comma 2 times fyy at 3 comma 2 and minus fxy at 3 comma 2 but squared. So I'm not there yet. I don't have fxx, I don't have fyy, and I don't have fxy. Ready? So let's find fxx. We have to go back to fx. And what is fxx? Very good. What is fyy? -2. And then what is fxy? So let's go to this one. So let's differentiate this with respect to y. Exactly. Now I put everything together in D. So D will be -2 times -2 minus 0. If you want 0 squared, it doesn't matter. So this is 4. And now remember the results of the test. If D is 0, saddle point. If D is less than 0, inconclusive.
If D is greater than 0.
And D is greater than 0, there are two options. Fxx to be less than 0 for a relative max, and fxx to be greater than 0 for a relative min.
This is a positive, it's negative.
So fxx is negative, so 3 comma 2 is a relative max. So D is positive, is 4. Fxx is negative, so it's a relative max. And if we're asked to find the relative max, then we will find f of 3 comma 2. We go back to the original function, and we replace x by 3 and y by 2. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 times 6, 18, minus 9 and minus 4. And this will be the relative max. So this is -1, so 17. 17 minus 4 is 13. So this is the relative max. Any questions? Okay. So one more time, when D is 0, test means nothing, right? When D is less than 0, that is the saddle point, right? I think I said it the opposite.
Yeah.
My apologies. So when D is 0 is inconclusive, it cannot be applied. When it's less than 0 is a saddle point. So we are only interested when it's positive. Okay, D equals 0, not applicable. D less than 0, saddle point. Only D greater than 0 has two options. For fxx to be less than 0, relative max. For fxx to be greater than 0, relative min. Very good. So now we have the last problem. Let's look at the graphing calculator and put it in. I'm not going to ask you to calculate anything by hand. So go to list and edit
Where was list?
stats, or just press on stats and then edit.
Oh, that's right.
So 0, 10, 11, 12, 18. And then 5.15, 5.85, 6.55, 7.25, and 1010.
I'm just like my second stat and then my edit. Where's my edit button?
No, just go, it's
Just a stat.
Just that.
Oh. Thank you. Let me turn that off.
I'm checking the time, so I have to break in the middle. Okay, so then we go to get out of there with second and quit. And now we go to stats and we want to calculate. And scroll down to number 4, linear regression AX plus B. This is the line of best fit that has the least amount of error. And will be a good representation of the relationship. Don't forget to make sure that you have list L1 comma list L2. L1 is X and L2 is Y. And just go to calculate. Every calculator is different, so I'm not sure what you have. So we get 0.2569 multiplied by X, that's the slope of the line, and the y-intercept is 4.36. So we copy that. So y equals 0.2569x plus 4.3593. Slope and y-intercept. And now we are asked to use the regression line to predict the minimum hourly wage in 2020, knowing that x equals 0. X equals 0 represents 1997, so we are interested in 2020 and 2025. So I have to identify x for both and then plug it in this function. So 1997 to 2020.
23.
Okay. And then 28. Perfect. So then plug it in for 23 and plug it in for 28. So what I would like to do, that's just me. You don't have to do this, but I prefer putting it in y equals. It doesn't matter. It's just only 2 values. Really, it's not that important. But I like to put it in as 0.2569x plus 4.3593. And then we go to second and table. Oh yes, of course I have to readjust that. And I plug in 23 and then 28. So 23 and 28. So if the trend continues, it appears that it will be 10.30 and 11.55. The 30? Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe 2.7. I'm too optimistic. You're right, I stand corrected. Okay, so let's go back to test 3. Okay, so let's see what we already what we looked at already so far. So this is very clear, right? So we can do this problem, but this is basically was done a few minutes ago. This was done a few minutes ago, just the previous problem, right? I like to look at the domain of something like this Now, if we have time, we'll go back and redo these two as well, of course. Again, this is just, we just did that with a d-test. This is a d-test, this is the d-test, and this is, okay. Here, I'm just going through and you'll tell me what we need to do. If we have time, we'll do all of them. This is all you have to do is just plug it in. There's nothing else. Just one number. That's why it's just 1 point. Okay. Now, this I would like to do because these are the differential equations that we have to look at. So this is very important and we have to do this right now. Now the consumer surplus and this the producer surplus we just did, and we can do it again with this problem, right? No problem. But I would like to continue with this because this we just finished a minute ago. I would like to look at the integrals. I would like to talk about this average of the function, okay, and the area enclosed by the graphs. So these are super important. And the approximation. And then we can go back to the problems that that are very similar to the problems that we just did. So here you just have to integrate this and just determine the function, and we'll sell 121 units of the product when the price is this. We start with number 1. Okay, very good. Let's start with number 1. In number 1, we have s prime of x equals 0.24x squared plus 4x plus 10. Find the supply function. So I'm asking myself, which function prime is x squared?
X to the third over 3.
Plus 4x squared over 2 plus 10x plus a constant c. But I am told that, remember x is the price. So they sell 121 units, which is y, when x is 5 per unit, so price per unit. Why am I given this information? To find the constant. Very good. So 121 equals 0.25 times 125 divided by 3 plus 2 times 25 plus
0.24.
It's even better. Okay, so from here, let's find the constant. So I have 121 minus 0.24 times 125 and divided by 3, and then minus 50 minus 100 because they're both, okay, and I get that the constant is 11. So then the function is 0.06, 0.08, I can think, times x cubed plus 2x squared plus 10x plus 11. Ready? Any questions?
Where did the 0.08 come
I divide 0.24 by 3.
from? Okay.
Is this okay? Very good. Problem 2. Approximate the area under the graph of the function f of x negative 0.02 x to the fourth plus 0.28 x cubed minus 0.3 x squared plus 20 on the interval 3 comma 12 using 4 subintervals and the leftmost point. 4 subintervals, leftmost point. We're not going to graph the function, but I'm going to present the interval between 3 and 12, and we're asked to split it into 4 subintervals. Can anyone give us the width of any of those intervals?
3.
So 3 times 4 will be 12, so I don't have the distance between 3 and 12 though. Right? So 3 to 12, 4 subintervals and the leftmost point. So delta x is 12 minus 3 divided by 4. So it's 9 over 4. Quite ugly. Doesn't really matter.
Oh, I'm sorry, because we're starting at 3.
Yes,
Okay.
this
I
is,
assumed 0.
that's okay. This is 9 over 4. This is 9 over 4. And this is 9 over 4. Is that better?
Yes.
Leftmost point is here. So therefore, the area with the left 4 will be f of 3, well, of course, 9/4, f of 3 plus f of this point. But how much is 3 plus 9 over 4? 12, 21 over 4. Plus 21 over 4 plus 9 over 4. And that is 30 over 4. You don't have to simplify it. Plus 30 over 4 plus 9 over 4. F of 39 over 4. Now let's see if we understand what we're doing. You understand we did not graph the function. So the function is somewhere here. But the first rectangle has this height. The second rectangle has this height. And the next has, I don't know how high. It doesn't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So base times height plus base times height plus base times height plus base times height. 9/4 is outside because all these 4 have the same width. The height at 3 plus the height at 3 plus 9/4, 21/4, plus the height at 21/4 plus 9/4, which is 30/4, and plus the height at 39/4. Is that clear? Please say no. You want me to explain this again? And then we have to put this in the calculator. Do you want me to explain this again?
So it's 3 times 9/4, and then you take that and you multiply that again by 9/4.
Okay, so assuming that this is the function between 3 and 12, this is the function. I divide this into 4 subintervals. So this is the area of the first rectangle. Base times this height. Then the area of the next rectangle is base, which is still 9/4, times this height for the leftmost point. The next is this height times the base. And I get this. And the last one is this. Base, which is 9/4, that's why I put it outside. 9/4 times f of 3 plus 9/4 times f of this plus 9/4 times f of this plus 9/4 times f of this.
So I understand the base times height, but where are you getting the height from?
From this point till this point is f of 3.
Okay.
From this point till this point is f of 21/4. From this point till this point is f of 30/4. And from this point till this point is f of 39/4. It's the function value.
I understand that.
Better?
Mhm.
Okay, so now let's put, and I pull this out because they're all the same.
You're multiplying it all. But
So
yeah.
this product is this area. This product is the next area. This product is the next area, and this product is the last rectangle. But I don't want to multiply. The constant will always wait for me outside. So here's what we do. Back to stats and list and edit. Clear what you have. Go up to L1 and clear. Go up to L2 and clear. Highlight L1 and clear. Highlight L2 and clear and enter. Do we have clean entry? Yes? Okay. So now I have 3. Then the next one is 21/4. Enter. The next one is 34th. And the next one is 39/4. Now careful. Oops. 4. Okay. So 3, 5.25, 7.5, and 9.75. Okay. On the right-hand side, go up to L2. L2. And we will write this. 9, better to put parentheses, clear. 9 in parentheses, 9 divided by 4, multiplied by L1, second and L1. So what this will do, when you press enter, it will take this and multiply by 9/4 and give the answer for all of them at once. Press enter. So this is already f of 3. Where's my f? Let's go back, sorry. Let's go back. Clear. So we have in parentheses 9 divided by 4. Close the parenthesis, and now in parentheses negative 0.02 times list L1 to the 4th power, caret 4. Continue. Plus 0.28 list L1 caret power 3. Continue. Minus 0.3 list L1 squared and plus 20. And close the parenthesis. I have to put the function in, of course. No, don't do that to me. What did I do? 9/4, that's fine. What's the problem? Okay, maybe they want me to insert multiplication. Okay, I'm going to insert the product. Okay, are you happy now? No, you're still not happy. Okay, let's see what next. Negative 0.02, yes, L to the 4th plus 0.28 x cubed. I just want to do it in one step, but they won't let me. 0.3 list L squared, yes. And then plus 20, yes. I close the parenthesis.
That's weird.
Oh,
You didn't
because,
put it in the outside.
yeah, I didn't, for some reason, it didn't go up. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so you have it?
Mhm.
Okay, so fine. So if you have those numbers in here, those 4 numbers, here's what I would like you to do next. Ready? Go to, get out of the table and go to stat. Move to calc and choose the first one. And make sure you have list L2. So list L2 is number 2 with the blue. Blue and 2. That's list L2. And now press on calculate. I don't have anything in there, so I can calculate. And when you do calculate, one symbol will be like this. And that's what I want. What does this symbol mean?
It's the sum of them all.
Right. Please give me that answer. On L2, one variable on L2. Okay, I'll do it.
Well, I got something, I just don't know if it's right.
That's fine.
I have 25.5.
Okay, so in L2, I have 9 divided by 4,
Did you guys get that?
For-
multiplied by, in parentheses. But you understand what I'm trying to do, correct?
Yes.
So
I got that.
L1 to the 4th power.
That's my list, which I just got.
Okay,
That's what I got.
and then plus
Let's just
0.28,
and then
the list to the 3rd power, minus
See the symbol? I see 25.5.
0.3,
But am I wrong?
and the list L1 squared,
It's the sum of X squared.
and then plus 20,
The sum of that.
and close the parenthesis, and stop embarrassing me. Thank you. Okay, so I got the numbers now. So second and quit. I go to stat. I go to calc. One variable. I want list L2. So from everything that I see here, I only need the sum. The sum is this. So it's 424.19. $424.19. This is the approximation. It's a rough approximation because we only used 4 subintervals.
So second stat, go over to calc,
Yes. So,
and then enter.
so you went to stat and we went to calc. And you have to put in parentheses list L2.
Okay. That's what I
And you
did
got
do.
424.19. If you don't put in parentheses list L2, it will automatically calculate for list L1.
That's what happened.
And you're not interested in list L1 because list L2 is the one with the areas. Very good. Do you have to do this? No. But I think it's easy if you understand it. It's easy to come up with a number.
Yeah, I would rather use the calculator.
Right. Okay, so let's look at the area.